Hello and welcome to the Jahanara shawl crochet along. I'm so pleased to be working with you on this beautiful shawl. Hopefully you have had a chance to go through the introduction where it listed the supplies needed. The designer has used multiple colors in DK weight yarn and the appropriate sized hook. So you can choose whichever yarn you wish. Your finished shawl size may be different depending on the yarn you choose. I'm using a cotton yarn in a DK weight with a 3.5 millimeter hook. I have some stitch markers and my scissors, and we'll get ready to begin. I will be giving the names of the colors that were used in the original pattern by the designer and substituting the colors I have chosen for those colors as I work my way through this with you. So the color choice is up to you. I will name what is in the pattern. So we're going to start with our first color, the off-white, and we will make a magic ring. And we will work 16 trebles into this ring. So for the first treble crochet, you can work a chain 4, 3, and 4, or if you're comfortable with starting stitches, you can work a starting treble crochet. I'm using the chain 4 right now. Then we want to make a total of 16 trebles, so that starting treble or the chain 4 counts as 1. So it's 2, oops, 3, 15 and 16 treble crochet all into that center magic ring. We can go ahead and tighten the ring. We'll join to the top of our starting stitch. In my case, it's that chain 4, so slip stitch to the 4th chain of our starting to finish off, and you can fasten off to complete round 1. Round 2 suggests pistachio green. I'm using an aquamarine. We can start around any of the trebles with a starting treble, back post treble. So I've yarned over twice. I'm going to hold those yarn overs to the hook as I go from the back. I'll show you again, going from the back around the treble crochet out to the back again to pick up the yarn, pull it through, and then yarn over, pull through 2, 3 times for our starting back post treble. We'll chain 2 and work a back post treble around the next stitch, and we will repeat that around each of the stitches. Chain 2, back post treble around the treble crochet from round 1. So I'll let you continue that around. Once you finish your last treble, you will chain 2 and join to our starting stitch and fasten off. I did want to mention, if you're not comfortable with that standing treble crochet, you can join with a slip stitch around the back and chain 4 as well for the first back post treble. So round 2 will have 16 back post treble and 16 chain 2 spaces. You're welcome to sew in your ends as you work. You will notice I leave mine for several rounds before I sew them in, just in case I need to go back and fix up something, but that is your choice. Round 3, zinc green is suggested. I'm using cyan blue. We're going to start with a single crochet in any of these back post treble. So if you're comfortable with a standing single crochet, you can start with that, or you can join with a slip stitch, chain 1, and then make your starting single crochet in the treble. So single crochet in the top of the treble and 2 single crochet in the chain 2 spaces. Single in the treble, 2 single crochet in the chain 2 spaces. And you can go ahead and work that all the way around. Once you've worked around, you will join to our starting single crochet with a slip stitch and fasten off, and you'll have 48 single crochet. Round 4 with off-white, that's my bubblegum color. We want to double crochet in the first stitch, so when it's not specified, your first stitch is always where you finished off or joined. You can start in another one as long as it's in the same stitch. So if we find a treble crochet, we want to start in a single crochet that's in the treble crochet. So we'll make a double crochet in that stitch. So you can do a different combination of starting. You can join with a slip stitch, chain 3 to act as your first double crochet. You can join with, join with a standing double crochet. So you would yarn over, insert your hook to finish your double crochet. Or there's a few different options of what's called a starting double crochet. If you're familiar with some of those, you can go ahead and do that. One of the ones that I use sometimes is a single crochet plus a chain to act as my starting double crochet. So whichever way you prefer to do that, so double crochet in that stitch, chain 5, that's 4 and 5 chains. We're going to skip 3 stitches and double crochet in the next stitch. And we'll repeat that around. Chain 5, skip 3 stitches, double crochet in the next. Okay, so not all of the double crochet will line up to the treble crochet, so we're going from 16 spokes down to 12 double crochet as you work your way around. So I'll let you continue to work that set of stitches, the chain 5, skip 3, double crochet. And when you've worked your last one, so you'll have 12 double crochet, make sure you end with a chain 5 and then you'll join to the top of our starting double crochet. When you've worked your way around round 4, do not finish off. We join to the top of our starting double crochet, but we'll continue with the same color. So we will slip stitch into this chain 5 space for round 5. Chain 1, and we're going to work 7 single crochet into the chain space, skipping the doubles, 7 single crochet. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 single crochet in that chain 5 space, skip the double crochet, and we'll continue around in each of the spaces with 7 single crochet. So once you have completed that, you'll join to our starting single crochet, and then you can fasten off. There'll be 84 single crochet. Round 6, dark saffron is suggested. I'm using my sangria, or this purple color. We're going to treble in the first single crochet. So right where we joined and left off, we will make a single crochet. Nope, we want to treble in that single. So again, you can join with a slip stitch and chain 4, or you could work a standing treble or your version of a starting treble crochet. The treble in that first single crochet. We'll double crochet in the next stitch. And we'll place a half double crochet in that same stitch where we just made a double crochet. And then we'll half double in each of the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we started with the treble in the same stitch as we joined last round, a double crochet in the next stitch and a half in that same stitch, half double crochet in the next 5 stitches. And then we're going to repeat this 4 times, these next set of stitches. We're going to start with a front post double around this double crochet that was stitched. So we yarn over, insert our hook from the front around the back of that double crochet to the front again, pull the loop through, yarn over, pull through 2 twice, for that front post double crochet. And then we'll single crochet in the next 7. So we don't want to skip any stitches. Single crochet in the next 7. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we'll do that 3 more times, that front post double around the double crochet, single crochet in 7. Being careful not to skip any stitches or to work 2 single crochet in 1 stitch. So I'll let you finish those 4 times. I've started my second time through. We'll do the 4 sets and I'll meet you back then. Okay, so I've worked my 4 sets of that front post double crochet and 7 single. We'll make another front post double around this next double crochet. And then we want to place a half double crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Half double crochet, double crochet in the same stitch where we place that last half double crochet, treble in the next stitch. And then we'll work a front post double treble. So we want to yarn over 3 times, and we're going to work around this next double crochet 2 rounds below. Pull that yarn up, and then we'll yarn over and pull through 2 4 times. Oh dear, I'll try that again. So pull through 2 4 times for a front post double treble. And that we're ready to go back to the beginning of this round, and we'll repeat that all the way around until we come over here. So we'll start again with that treble in the next stitch, that first single crochet past where we are, double in the next stitch, and half double crochet in that same stitch, half double crochet in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you're ready to work those 4 sets of the front post double 7 single crochet. So you can go ahead and work those 4 sets, and I'll meet you at the end of that. Okay, so after those 4 front post double followed by the 7 single crochet, we want to work a last front post double crochet, and then we will half double crochet in those 6 stitches, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, half double crochet, place a double crochet in that same stitch as our last half double crochet, and we want to make a treble crochet in this last stitch. And then we'll end the round with that front post double treble where we yarn over 3 times, work your hook around the post, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2, 4 times to finish that front post double treble, and then joining to the top of our starting stitch. So in my case, it's a chain 4 to finish this round. Okay, and you can fasten off, and there should be 100 stitches, and you can see how we're turning our circle. We're elongating it a bit, and it will eventually become a rectangle. Round 7, using main color, I'm using natural colored for mine. We want to start in the double crochet that's after a front post double crochet and that treble. So starting in that first double crochet, we are going to work a back post 2 double crochet cluster. So we yarn over, we'll work from around the back of that double crochet to put our hook around the front and back out to the back to pull the yarn through. We'll have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And then we'll yarn over and we'll go around that same post again to pull up another loop. We'll have 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2, leaving 3 loops on our hook. Mine crisscrossed there. There we go. Yarn over, pull through all 3 for a back post 2 double crochet cluster. Chain 1, we'll skip a stitch and we'll work another back post 2 double crochet cluster. So yarn over, go around from the back around the front of that post to pull up your yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and around that same post to pull up another loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. And one more time, chain 1, skip a stitch, back post 2 double crochet cluster. So chain 1, skip a stitch, and then we'll work one more back post 2 double crochet cluster. So that should be the last stitch just before that front post double crochet. And then we'll work a front post double around that front post double from last round. Oops, I'll try that once more. And back post half around each of the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, which should bring you to the next front post double. So we'll continue that or repeat that 3 more times. So working that front post double around the front post double and then 7 back post half double crochet. So after you've done that a total of 4 times, I will join you on the other side here to help you with the stitches around this next front post double treble. So after your 4 repeats of that front post double and back post 7, you will want to work another front post double. And then we'll work that back post 2 double crochet cluster around the next stitch. So that was yarn over, go around the post to pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and repeat. Yarn over, around the post to pull up a loop, pull through 2, and then pull through all 3. Chain 1, skip 1, and we'll repeat that 2 more times. So the back post 2 double crochet clusters, chain 1, skip 1, and then we'll want to work one more back post 2 double crochet cluster. Okay, then we skip the treble crochet and we're going to work a front post 2 treble cluster. So we want to yarn over twice and we're going to work it around this front post double treble. So we insert our hook around the back of that front post double treble and pull the yarn through. We will yarn over and pull through 2, leaving 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over twice again, insert around that post, pull up the yarn, yarn over, pull through 2 twice, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops for that front post 2 treble crochet cluster. We'll chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we want to work another front post 2 treble cluster around that same post. So we'll yarn over, insert the hook around the post just below where we made our last cluster, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over twice around the post. So you can see how I find if I turn my work sort of sideways, it's easier to work around that post. Pull through 2 twice, then yarn over, pull through the last 3 stitches. And we've made those 2 front post treble clusters with a chain 4 in between for our corner. Then we'll skip this treble crochet that comes next, and we're ready to start the side again with that back post 2 double crochet cluster, chain 1, skip 1, and so on. So you can go ahead and repeat that side along this other edge, and I'll meet you just before the ending. So after you've worked those 4 front post double with the back post around the 7, you'll work that 1 more of the front post double crochet, and then we'll work that set of those back post 2 double crochet clusters. So the 2 double crochet cluster around that first stitch, chain 1, skip 1, back post 2 double crochet cluster, chain 1, skip 1, our third back post double crochet cluster, chain 1, skip 1, and our fourth and last back post double crochet cluster, and then skipping that treble, we're going to work the front post 2 treble cluster around the front post double treble. Chain 4, and another front post 2 treble cluster. Skip the treble and then joining to our first back post 2 double crochet cluster, and we can fasten off. There will be 86 stitches in this round, 2 of those chain 4 spaces, and then there'd be the 12 chain 1 spaces in between those back post 2 double crochet clusters. Round 8, suggested color is red. I'm using Shiraz. We're going to start in the chain 4 corner space with 9 treble crochet. So if you wish, you can start with a standing treble crochet. I'm joining with the slip stitch and chaining 4 for my first treble crochet. Then we yarn over twice and we'll work 8 more trebles into that chain 4 space. And I'm just working over my tail end a bit for when I secure the ends later on. So it's a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 treble crochet, including our starting stitch or chain. We're going to skip 4 stitches, which will be this treble cluster, the back post double cluster, the chain 1, and the next back post double crochet cluster. And working in that next chain space, we will make a treble crochet, chain 1, 6 times. So treble, chain 1. And we'll do that 5 more times. Treble, chain 1. 3, 4, 5, and 6, treble chain 1, and then we want to make one more treble in that same space. And we'll skip those next 3 stitches, and around that front post double we will make a front post double. Then the next 3 stitches we're going to work back post half double crochet. So you yarn over before going around the post from the back, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. So we'll work back post half around the next 3 stitches, and then 2 back post half around the next 1 and 2, and then back post half around each of the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. And we'll repeat that 3 times. So front post double, and then working 3 back post half, 2 around the next 3 back post half. So after you've worked that a total of 4 times, I will join you again. So after our 4th repeat, we will work a front post double around that next front post double. Then we'll skip the next 3 stitches, the cluster, the chain 1, and the cluster, and in that next chain 1 space we will work those treble crochet chain 1 6 times, three, 4, 5, 6, and ending with 1 more. So there's 7 trebles divided by chain 1 spaces. Skipping the 4 stitches, which is the cluster, the chain 1, the cluster, and the treble cluster, and then we've reached that next chain 4 space where we started, and we're similar to how we started, and we'll work those 9 trebles in that chain 4 space, and then finish this next side as we just did. So you can go ahead and work that around, and I'll meet you when we join at the end of this round. So as you finish your last set of treble crochet chain 1, you will just join to the top of our starting stitch to end this round. And you can fasten off this color. There should be 120 stitches and 24 chain 1 spaces. Round 9, using main color, we're going to start in the first of a group of 9 double crochet at either end of our motif, and we want to start with a back post double crochet. So if you wish, you can insert from the back around that first treble and make a slip stitch, and then chain 3, which will count as your starting back post double crochet. Or if you prefer, you can start with a standing back post double. So you would yarn over, go around the stitch to pick up, oops, I got caught on my yarn over. Go around the back of the stitch to pick up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2 twice for a standing back post double crochet. We'll work a back post double around each of the next 8 treble as well. So back post double around all 9 of the treble at either end of this motif. So it's 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 back post double crochet. We'll skip the next treble, and in that chain 1 space we will work a 2 double crochet cluster. So yarn over, insert in the space to pick up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, leaving 2 loops on the hook, repeat that again, pull through 2, and then we'll yarn over, pull through all 3 for the 2 double crochet cluster, and chain 1. And we'll work that again, skipping the next treble. In the next chain space we'll make another 2 double crochet cluster, chain 1, and then in the next space we'll make a 2 double crochet cluster, and then chain 2, which will be our new corner as we start to square off this motif. And then we'll work a 2 double crochet cluster in the next chain 1 space with the chain 1, repeat that in the next space. So the 2 double crochet cluster, chain 1, ending with a final 2 double crochet cluster in that last chain 1 space. Okay, so we had the 9 back post double around the 9 treble, and then we worked in the first 3 spaces a 2 double crochet cluster with a chain 1 in between, and then after the 3rd one we made a chain 2 for a new corner, and then 3 more double crochet clusters with that chain 1 in between. So we're going to make a back post treble 2 together. So we'll yarn over twice, and we're going to work around this last treble, pulling up our loop, yarn over, pull through 2 times, leaving 2 loops on the hook, yarn over twice again. We'll skip this front post double, and around this next stitch, that first back post half, we will go from the back to pull up our loop, yarn over, pull through 2 twice, and then yarn over, pulling through those 3 loops. So it was a back post treble 2 together, skipping that front post double in between. And then around the next 2 stitches we'll work a back post double. So 1 around each of the next 2 stitches, back post double crochet. Then back post half around this next 6 stitches. So there's 2 back post half in the same stitch. Be careful to work a back post half around each of those 2 stitches. So we have 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then this last back post half double crochet goes around that front post double. Then around the next 8 stitches we're going to work back post single crochet. 1, 2, 3. Then there's 2 in the next stitch, so be careful to work around each of them. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 back post single crochet. We're going to skip this front post double, and then we'll work 8 more back post singles. So back post single around each of the next 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, and again making sure we work around both of these. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Back post half around the next 6, and the first one is that front post double that we work around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Back post half. Back post double around the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And then we're ready to work that back post treble again, starting around this next stitch. So we yarned over twice, inserted from the back, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 twice, leaving the 2 on the hook, yarn over twice again. Skip the front post double, then around that next treble, we'll pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 twice, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, and then in this next space, we will work that 2 double crochet cluster, chain 1, and in the next space, the same thing, a 2 double crochet cluster, chain 1, and another 2 double crochet cluster in the next space. And then we want to work a chain 2, and we'll work the 2 double crochet cluster in that next space, chain 1, 2 double crochet cluster in the next space, chain 1, and one more 2 double crochet cluster in that last chain 1 space. And then we have reached another set of those 9 treble, so we'll start that all over again with the back post double crochet around each of the 9, and then working the other side. So you can go ahead and work that around the second side, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. Your way around after those last sets of 2 double crochet cluster, we will join to our starting back post double crochet to end this round, and you can fasten off. So the long side, so that's between the chain 2 space on this long side here, you will have 40 stitches and 4 chain 1 spaces on each of the long sides. And then on the short sides, and again that's between the chain 2, here it is, my chain 2 spaces, there'll be 15 stitches and 4 chain 1 spaces. And if yours is a little bit bunchy, doesn't quite lay flat at this point, that will work its way out. So round 10, we're going to continue with main color, but we wanted a different starting spot. So from now on, your starting will always be at the beginning of a long side, unless otherwise indicated. So we want to find the chain 2 corner space on the far side of a long side of our work. And we're going to start with a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in that corner space. So I started with a standing double crochet. If you wish, you can join with a slip stitch and chain 3 for that first double crochet. Then we'll chain 2 and double crochet in that chain 2 corner space again. We'll double crochet in the next 5 stitches, and the chain spaces count as a stitch. So I double crocheted in the cluster and in this stitch, and in this space. Double crochet in the cluster and in this space, and double crochet in that next cluster. So we have those 5 double crochet. The next 2 stitches we'll work a double crochet 2 together, so we'll enter in that first stitch to pull up our loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and enter into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3 for that double crochet 2 together, and then double crochet in the next stitch. We'll place a half double crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 half double crochet, and single crochet in the next 16. 1, 2, 15 and 16 single crochet, half double crochet in the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 half double crochet in the next. And then we'll work that double crochet 2 together over the next 2 stitches. Double crochet in the next 5, including the chain spaces. So 1, the second one goes in the chain space, 3, 4 in that chain space, and 5, and then we've reached the next space where we can double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and then ready to work on the short side. We will just double crochet in each of the 19 stitches across, remembering the chain 1s equal a stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 17, 18, and 19 double crochet across that short side, and then ready to work our corner again of double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in that corner space. And then we can work the long side and short side one more time. So I'll let you work that around, and I will join you again at the end of this round. When you've worked your way around, you will join to our starting stitch, but do not fasten off, as we'll continue with color A, or our main color. So the short sides will have 21 stitches, and the long sides will have 44 stitches. And then the corners have that chain 2. And again, it will work its way out so it lays flat as we continue to work. Round 13, continuing with the main color, we will slip stitch into that chain 2 corner space. And double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. So you can work a chain 3 here if you prefer, or I'm going to work a starting double crochet. There's many methods to do this. I make my loop a little bit longer and wrap that loop around my hook like a yarn over, pull the yarn up, and then yarn over, pull through 2, and pull through 2 to make a starting double crochet. Chain 2 and double crochet in that same space. We'll double crochet in each of the next 13 stitches. 1, 2, 12 and 13 double crochet, half double crochet in the next 18 stitches, 1, 2, 17 and 18 half double crochet, and then we'll double crochet in the next 13 stitches, 1, 2, 11, 12 and 13 double crochet, which should bring us to that chain 2 corner space. We will double crochet, chain 2 in that corner space, and then along the short side we will work 21 double crochet. 1, 2, 19, 20 and 21 double crochet on the short side, and ready to work the new corner of double crochet, chain 2 corner, and repeat the long side and short side one more time. So you can go ahead and work your way around, and again I'll meet you at the end of this round. So at the end of round 11 you can fasten off. The long sides will have 46 stitches, short sides 23 stitches, and then those chain 2 in the corners. Round 12, using zinc green, I'm using my cyan color. We want to start in the first double crochet of the corner of the long side. We're going to start with that back post double crochet around. So if you wish, you can make a slip stitch and chain 3. I'm doing a standing back post double. Get that tail out of the way. So back post double around that first double crochet of the corner before a long side. Then we want to make a double treble, so we yarn over 3 times around the corner chain 2 of round 9. So our last round is round 11, round 10, round 9. So in between those 2 stitches in that corner, and between those 2 cluster stitches, we'll insert our hook around that chain, pull up our loop, yarn over, pull through 2 4 times for the double treble, working in front of rounds 10 and 11. Chain 2 and work a second double treble in the same space. Then we'll work a back post double crochet around the next 13. So that's that second double crochet in the corner on round 11 and 12 more stitches. So we'll have 13 back post double crochet. It's 3, 12 and 13 back post double crochet. We'll work a back post half double crochet around each of the next 20 stitches. 1, 2, 19 and 20 back post half double crochet. And then we'll do the 13 back post double crochet again. 1, 2, 12 and 13 back post double crochet. Then we're ready to work the double treble in that space of round 9 between the 2 stitches that are already there. Chain 2, 1 more double treble in that same space. And then around the stitches of this short side, we will work 23 back post double crochet. So once you've completed those 23 back post double, you'll be ready for your next corner of the double treble, chain 2 double treble, and then repeat both the long side and the short side one more time. On the last repeat at the end of the second short side, you will only do 12 back post, you will omit the final back post double, so 22 instead of 23 on the short side, because we started with one of those back post double. And I'll meet you there. So when you finish, you will join to our starting back post double crochet and fasten off. The long sides will have 48 stitches, short sides 25 stitches, and then the corner has those chain 2. Round 13, off-white is the suggested color. We're going to start in the corner just by the long side, and we want to start in the second double treble of the corner. So just after the chain 2 corner, in the top of that double treble, we will make a single crochet. Skip 1 stitch, and then we'll single crochet in the next 44. So we'll skip this first stitch and single crochet in 44. 2, 3, 4. So when you've worked the 44 single crochet, we will skip that last stitch before the double treble, single crochet in that double treble. So then we want to, in between these 2 double treble in the chain 2 space of round 10, we're going to make 2 more double trebles. So we'll yarn over 3 times and into that chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 4 times for our first double treble, chain 2, and then double treble around that same space in between the stitches that are already there. And then working across the short side, starting right in that double treble, we're going to half double crochet in those 25 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 25 half double crochet across the short end. The last, or the 25th half double crochet, goes in that double treble in the corner. And then we're ready to work our next set of double treble in that round 10 space, in between the stitches already in that space and in between the double treble from last round. So 1 double treble, chain 2, yarn over 3 times into that same corner space of round 10, and complete our second double treble. And then we're ready to work down the side, placing a single crochet in that double treble, skipping a stitch, single crochet in 44. So you can go ahead and work that around the next long side and the short side, and I'll meet you back here at the end of the round. When you've worked your way down that second short side with the 25 half double crochet, you'll work that ending corner of the double treble, chain 2 double treble, and then join with the slip stitch to our starting single crochet to end this round and fasten off. The long side will have 48 stitches, short side 27 stitches. That includes the double trebles, and then there's a chain 2 in each corner. Round 14, using color purple, starting in that chain 2 corner space before the long side, we want to start with a puff stitch. So we yarn over, insert into the chain 2, pull up a loop, and we'll do that 5 times. I like to use my finger to hold these loops for my starting puff stitch. So there's 11 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all of the loops, and then you make a chain 1 to close the puff stitch. And then we'll make a chain 2 and we'll make another puff stitch in that same corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So as you're pulling up that loop, you're pulling it just a little bit longer than usual to make it sort of the height of a double crochet. And don't forget to chain 1 to close after the puff stitch. And we want to make that, so we've done 2, we want a total of 5 puff stitches, and there's that chain 2 in between each of them. So we've got 3 puff stitches. 4 and 1 more. So 5 puff stitches in that corner, chain 2 space. It will stretch out that space a fair bit as you work those. So we're going to skip the double treble and the first 2 single crochet, and we're going to work a back post half double crochet around each of the next 42 stitches. So under those top loops of the single crochet to work those back post half double crochet, and 42 of them down the side, and I'll meet you just before the next corner. So 42 back post half double crochet. There should be 2 more single crochet left that we will skip, and we'll skip that double treble, and then we'll work those sets of 5 puff stitches divided by a chain 2 in the corner space. So yarn over, pull up a loop 5 times, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You want to try and keep those loops fairly loose so you can yarn over and pull the yarn through, chain 2, and continue that 4 more times. So 5 puff stitches. You may find as you wiggle them that the first and the last one sort of cover up the top of that double treble, and that's okay if they spread out a bit around that corner. So we'll skip that double treble, which is hidden anyways. And the first 2 half double crochet we will skip, and we'll back post half around the next 21 half double crochet. So yarn over around the post of the half double crochet for 21 back post half double crochet on the short side. Okay, so when we've worked those 21 back post half double crochet, we will skip those next 2 half double and the double treble, and then ready to work another corner of those 5 puff stitches with the chain 2 in between, and then start down the next long side and repeat those 2 sides. So you can go ahead and work your way around, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. When you've worked your way around, after those last back post in the 21 on the short side, we will skip those last 2 half double crochet and the double treble, and joining to the top of our starting puff and fasten off to end round 14. The long sides will have 42 stitches plus 4 puffs, and the short side is 21 stitches plus 4 puff stitches, and then there's 1 puff stitch in the corners. Round 15, the final round for part 1. We want to use our main color, and we're going to start in the 3rd puff stitch, so that corner puff stitch. We'll make a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. So with a standing stitch, you'll just yarn over, or you can join with a slip stitch and chain 3 for your first double. And we're going to work into that space at the top that was created with our closing chain. And we will work our double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet into that center puff of the corners. And then in the chain space between those 2 puff stitches, we're going to make a double crochet, and then we'll work a front post double crochet around the puff stitch. And repeat, double crochet in the chain space, front post double around the puff stitch. And then we'll place a double crochet in the next 42 stitches. So the first one is a little bit hidden by our front post stitch, so make sure we work a double crochet into that first stitch of the side for 42 double crochet down the side, and I'll meet you at the next corner. So when you've worked the 42 double crochet down the side, we'll make the front post double crochet around that first puff stitch and double crochet in the chain space between the puff stitches. Front post double around the puff, double crochet in the chain space, and then we've reached our next puff stitch, so we'll make a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in that puff, and ready to start down the short side with a double crochet in the chain space, front post double around the puff, double crochet in the chain space, front post double around the puff. And then on the short side, making 21 double crochet, making sure we add one to that first half double crochet that's a bit hidden. So 21 double crochet down the side. So 21 double crochet down the short side. Then we've reached those puff stitches again. So we'll work it in the same way with the front post double around the first puff, double crochet in the chain space, front post double around that second puff. So I'll try that once more. There we go. Double crochet in that chain space, and then ready to work our double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in that center puff stitch. Then ready to work our long side again, double crochet in the chain space, front post double around the puff, and repeat, double in the chain space, front post double around the puff, and then ready to start our double crochet down the side. So you can go ahead and work the second long side and short side, and then I'll meet you just before we end this round. So as you finish up your last side, you will work those front post doubles around the puffs and double crochet in the chain spaces and join to our starting double crochet and fasten off this round, and it ends part 1. So you can go ahead and sew in your ends if you wish. If yours still isn't quite laying quite flat, you'll be tempted to block it. You do not need to at this point. They will continue to sort itself out in the next part, or there will be directions given later on when you can block if it isn't quite flat or straight at that point. So you do not need to block at this stage. The long sides will have 52 stitches, 31 stitches on the short side, and then chain 2 in the corner. See you back here for part 2.